Hi.
Hello.
We were thinking a lot this morning. What would really serve you? What would be a good thing to share? And we realized what our work is about is food, of course, showing people how they can shift to a much healthier, vibrant, energized experience of life. And also looking at how life works, how the mind works to really give us the fullest experience possible and to leave behind habits that may have created health problems, like reaching for food when we're not hungry. And over time, that can be difficult. So today we thought we'd explore a bit how do we set in motion health difficulties, habits that create health concerns? How can we begin to recognize them quickly and have a new experience of life, a fuller, richer, more easeful way of living?
Yeah, what I wanted to share about, and we'll get to Connie's point as we move along, but we have a client that we're working with right now who was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. And I remember when my father was diagnosed with a heart condition and had a triple bypass, and then was diagnosed with diabetes and dealt with that. It always seemed like when the diagnosis occurred, something just prior to that had happened. Something had kind of shifted, something had broken in a way. And what we're realizing is that that's not the way the body works. And an analogy that I came across years ago that I like is how our body is kind of like a glass that's half full of water. And that's the balance point. When that water's at the halfway point in the glass, everything's functioning really well. Everything's balanced. Blood pressure, heart, liver, blood sugar, all of that's in balance and working well. But diet and lifestyle creates stresses and toxins, and it's like putting a little pebble or a rock in the glass. And so the water starts to rise a little bit, but our bodies are so resilient that they're able to function, even though things are tipped a little, like people are walking around all the time with high blood pressure,
Sure.
and they're still getting by. But that rock has raised the level a little bit and things are a little out of balance. So with habits, like Connie was saying, we develop these habits around food and lifestyle. Each day, lots of times, we'll
Yes.
put a little pebble in the glass and it keeps raising the level until all of a sudden that last rock goes in and starts to spill over. And that spilling over is when we experience the condition.
Yeah, we're suddenly aware, oh, something's wrong here. I've got to do something different.
Right, like the pain in my hands, I can't open a jar anymore.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Or I'm walking up a hill and I have to stop to catch my breath.
Mm-hmm.
That's the water spilling over. And that didn't just happen a few weeks before that everything got out of hand.
And actually, it's a great blessing because it's the body's way of signaling us that we can make a change and live a different life. It's pointing us to, oh, okay, now pay attention.
Yeah, and the good news is that's what keeps us in business. Because so often it isn't until we actually feel the inconvenience of a symptom, either the pain or the lack of mobility or whatever it is, that people will come to us and say, is there something I can do? And it's so beautiful because there is something we can do, basically change diet and lifestyle. And the body, in its resilience, in its capacity to regenerate, can start dissolving those pebbles and those rocks that are in there. And they literally are evaporated. They're pooped out, the toxins, whatever. When we give our bodies what they need, they do house cleaning. And the old weak cells are constantly regenerating. So stronger new cells are being made, and we really can shift. There's a law, I think it's called Herring's Law, that says for every 7 years of, I forget the word they use, I'm going to say abuse, for every 7 years of an imbalanced diet and lifestyle, let's say, every 7 years, it takes 1 year for the body to regenerate. But that's pretty good,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
So the body is a miracle. It's so great.
And another thing, like when I had that large fibroid tumor, I was eating healthy, but I was putting so much stress and pressure on my physiology and on our lives that it showed up. It showed up, and the body said, yoo-hoo, time to pay attention.
Well, that's a really good point. And that's why we've been spending so much time on a lot of these blogs talking about the nature of the mind and how life works. Because no matter how well we eat, good exercise, sleep, all of that, if the way we relate to life creates stress and anxiety, our body's natural response, it's designed to respond with cortisol, adrenaline, different hormones that affect the way we utilize the nutrients that we put in our mouths.
Mm-hmm.
And that too, emotional stress is like putting pebbles in that glass. So we want to attack it on all levels.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word attack, but I would use the word approach. And the main thing is, it's such a fun journey, and it is so delicious. I know you may think, well, I don't want to change the way I eat because I like the tastes I have. But when you give your body a chance to eat whole food plant-based, it is so grateful. You feel better and better quickly, and your eyesight gets clearer and your mental clarity gets greater. It's such a sweet, enjoyable journey.
Yeah, we had a client tell us just yesterday that he had this experience last week of he was feeling kind of down, fatigued, not real well. And his wife put together one of these whole food plant-based meals. He's been doing this for 3 or 4 months now.
On and off.
On and off, yeah. But he said it was the most amazing thing because as soon as I put that first bite in, it's like I could feel the nutrients going into my body.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I mean, he woke up to the language, to the impulse, to the voice of intelligence.
Yeah.
We all have this intelligence in our bodies. Our bodies know what will keep us in balance, let's put it that way, and what throws the body out of balance. And it's always actually kind of whispering in our ear about it. And the cleaner we eat, we've said this before, the cleaner we eat, it seems like the more easily we hear that voice.
Yes, that's true.
And he said, actually, he was so impressed that this happened to me 3 times last week.
Yeah, that was great. I was so thrilled.
Yeah.
Now, if you have in the back of your mind some inkling that the body is sending up a little flag saying, yoo-hoo, it's time, and you want to make a quick or a very slow transition to healthier eating, connect with us below in the comment section, and we'll give you a free consultation and give you an idea of what's possible, and then you choose for yourself.
Yeah.
We'd love to work with you. We'd love to support you to not only have this high level of health in the physical sense, but also to be free of habits that may be complicating your having great health.
If I could add one other thing that just came to my mind that I think is valuable to understand, it took me a while to figure this out, is how slowly the metaphor of the rocks is a metaphor about how slowly it takes really for conditions to develop and how they're actually showing signs of fatty liver disease in preteen children these days on the standard American diet. And of course, that's not going to show a symptom for a long time. So we share this information about listening to the body, because there is intelligence there that will direct us to eat and live in a balanced way if we listen. And so it can show up kind of like going into the grocery store and being drawn to this shiny, bright apple, and then thinking, yeah, but I could just get a apple granola bar instead, or something like that. The mind sometimes wants to kind of override these little nudges of intelligence that are there. So that intelligence is always there. It's always giving us feedback, whether we're doing something that's going to create balance or throw the balance off. And so often the symptoms are coming long before we actually feel them, but our bodies can give us feedback about the balance. We don't need to know if it's fatty liver or a cancer tumor or cholesterol, high cholesterol. Our bodies will guide us to what will lead us to restoring the balance in whatever system's out.
Yeah, so we'd love to play in this arena with you. We're so thrilled with our own lives, the health level that we have from being on this journey for many years. And we'd love to share it with you and let you discover the health and the wellness that's possible. Recipe. We did a great recipe yesterday we want to share with you. It's Mizuna lettuce or green. It's a Japanese mustard green, actually. And you can substitute that with spinach or kale if it's not available. And cauliflower and garbanzo beans. It's a one dish meal that is really yummy. I think you'll enjoy it. So give it a try.
Yep. That's it for now. Thanks so much.